we go. Take two. My friends, when people say stand-up comedians, some of them have a calling to do stand-up, right? I go, no. But then I think of a few people. And I think of this comedian, not only because she's a brilliant joke writer, she's so prolific. I feel like every single time I see a set, it is completely different. She's been on all of the late nights, all of them, numerous times. And I mean Carson, Letterman, Leno, Fallon, Kimmel, Ferguson, named the best female stand-up comedian by the American Comedy Awards. She starred in comedy specials for HBO, Comedy Central, Showtime, a semifinalist on America's Got Talent. And I say this because it holds weight. Howard Stern's wildcard pick, and she has a new comedy special called It's Wendy, because it is Wendy, Wendy Liebman. Hi.
Oh, I'm bamboozled right now.
I know it's always, people are always like, it's weird hearing my credits, but I'm like, isn't it nice to hear your credits?
What's really interesting is we were talking about trying new material
Yes,
before we started recording. And it's funny that you think that I have a new set every time you hear
I do.
me,
I do.
because I feel like I'm slow to introduce new jokes. I write a lot, but it takes me a while to infuse them into my set.
And is that because I hear that as a comic, I hear that. And part of it for me is because I just want to please them. I just want to make sure that audience is having the night that they were hoping for. And sometimes I feel like I just can't shove that new bit in because I'm scared.
Right. And sometimes I will try something, and because it's the first time I'm doing it, it
Yeah,
has a little extra oomph, and then I do it again and it's not as good like the second time I do it.
that is so true. I
And
mean,
then
that is,
there are jokes that I've stopped doing, and then somebody will remind me of that joke, and then I'll start doing it again, and I'm like, why did I ever stop doing this joke?
and do you know why?
No.
Do you not think it's because you tried it and then you tried it again and then you're like, okay, moving on, moving on.
I guess probably. And then just that one person saying, you never do that joke about your bra.
And
And
you're
then
like,
I'm
my
like,
famous bra joke.
oh, like I should try that again. No, I used to do a joke that I got my period today. It was late. Most of my friends got it when they were 13. And, I can't do that now at 63. But
Yes, you can.
I started doing it again after somebody said, "Why don't you do that joke anymore?" And yeah, and then it just got consistent laughs. But I think I had stopped doing that one because I didn't want to be doing a period joke.
Right. Well, they're back bigger than ever. Bigger than ever. And I think it would be interesting since I still think that a lot of men have no idea how the female body works. So I think you should throw it out there and just see what it
I'm
sparks.
I swear this is true. I was once at a doctor's office in the 80s, and the nurse, it was a male nurse, and he somehow intimated that he thought that women had their period for a month.
No.
Like,
No. This person got a medical license
I know.
to practice and took on
Like,
female.
which month did you have it?
I get mine in July.
You know, I don't get my period anymore, but I had it for however many years, 40 years or whatever. And in all those months in all those times of getting it, I can't believe
Yeah,
I'm talking about this,
I love it.
but I only didn't have pain 1 month. And I remember thinking, wow, why aren't I in pain right now?
Yeah, what's wrong? And that, did you then think, oh, there must be something really wrong?
I was like, this is tenable. Like, I can live with this. Every other month, I was like curled up on the
Oh,
couch for a month.
yeah. So it was a relief when you were like, we're saying goodbye to this.
Such a relief.
Okay. Yeah, because everyone comes about that at a different perspective. And actually, just hopping on the next thing, I don't talk about it very much because I don't know about it enough. I suppose just by my age, I must be in perimenopause, but I just blame a lot of my symptoms on myself because I think that's healthy. Um,
Well, perimenopause sounds so proper, doesn't it? I feel like you should be like having tea with your pinky out
yeah,
during perimenopause.
I'm like in what is that? Finishing school. I'm in finishing school for my period.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing. So I just have to ask you because I did introduce you with this bio, and I'm looking. Of course, I do some research, and I'm looking at the fact that you really. I think you are one of the few people that I know who really has done every single late night incarnation,
Except Conan.
except oh, what?
I
Wow. I
know.
know he has to come back to make this right.
Do you think I could get on now?
Yeah, probably, probably, probably. At least the podcast. Uh, so okay, so I know that obviously doing Carson is different than doing Fallon, throughout the years. But was there in your mind comparing them, which one had the best green room snacks?
The best green room snacks was I did the Keenan Ivory Wayans show. And he
Okay.
and he had like this bar set up and yeah, there was really good swag
Yeah.
and also Howie Mandel had a talk show and I did that and he gave out hush puppies,
The shoes or the dessert?
the shoes.
Oh, wow. What? Whoa.
I know. I don't think they fit me, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the nicest talk show host, well, they've all been nice, but Leno and Fallon both came to my dressing room, and
And
that
yeah.
was really cool. And then I've gotten to know Jay Leno a little bit out here. I live in LA, and I get to open for him sometimes.
Oh.
Or host his shows when he performs at the Comedy and Magic or Flappers. So that's cool because he's amazing. He will perform for like an hour and a half.
This is what I've heard. This is what I've heard.
Just hilarious. And so I was talking to my insurance broker yesterday because
As
I've
you
had
do.
some car insurance questions. And he said that he had seen Jay Leno perform at Flappers recently. And he said, he just makes that up
I
on the
love that.
spot. And I said, no. But when I was little, I used to watch Carson and think that they were just winging it.
I mean, this is like still the innocence and naivete of an average comedy audience member. I feel like it's being taken away because, well, just more, maybe, I don't know, we're just more knowledgeable about the inside outs of things. We love pulling back the curtain. But I do love it when someone's like, A, did you make that all up on the spot? Or B, is it true? Like, I would make up my own
Right.
name. I mean, everything. Sometimes they're like, "Do you really
Well,
have a child?" And I'm like, "Wow, that would be crazy to come up on stage and make that up."
well, when I first met my husband, he came to a show, and then afterwards he asked me about my brother, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a brother," because I would talk about how my brother was a philosophy major, he didn't know why, and so I made up my brother. And then there was some comedian that got in trouble for making shit up about his background. I don't know. He got in
Yep.
trouble recently.
Yes.
And I guess my bottom line is like, I try in life never to lie. I mean, that's hard because you have
Sure.
to protect feelings.
Absolutely.
But
You look great, you know?
why, thank you, liar. Um,
But that's what we do. How are you? Fine.
right.
You know, lies, lies, lies.
So I feel like I try not to lie in life, but in my art, I'm
Yeah.
allowed to, as long as like, there was a comedian who went on stage as a deaf comedian, and then halfway through, they broke it, and
Wow.
the audience just felt
Wow.
duped. They
Yeah.
just were like, "What?"
Yeah, I don't like that at all. To me, like I for a number of reasons, and I would start with, um, you're basically punching down your whole act. You're making fun of someone that doesn't have the ability to hear. Awful. And two, you're not good.
Well, they were a good deaf person,
Oh
but
my,
they're
like
not maybe
what?
not a good person
Yeah,
for doing that. Because the
exactly.
audience just felt like so then they can't trust you. So I guess that's what it's about,
Interesting. So
trust.
let me ask you this, because you know I have watched your comedy for years, and I remember when I came to New York, and I was, you know, trying to just get. I already had done stand up in Canada, but I came to New York trying to get settled, and I went to Caroline's with my friend, paid money like an audience member. What? And
What?
to see you. And one of the things I remember thinking, which was so interesting because the way I was working at the time and still am, is just completely 100% from my life. I mean, almost to the point where sometimes I rewrite a joke and go, Ophira, you can take liberties however you want. It can be a blue shirt. Nobody cares. And I was watching you, and I was, because you're so good with efficiency of writing, great one-liners, tons of misdirection. I also left going, well, what was true and what was not from this person's life, because I couldn't tell.
Right. Right. But you still trusted me
Well,
to
yes,
go
absolutely.
along with it.
The ride, absolutely.
Like, I'm just trying to tie this into having kids
Oh
somehow.
yeah, no, don't worry, I got you.
Oh,
But
okay,
let me,
because what I was gonna say is the first time my stepkids saw me perform, they were
yes.
like 9 and 5. Well, maybe the 5-year-old didn't come. But the next morning, the 9-year-old at breakfast was telling me my jokes verbatim.
Such good memories.
But one of them saw the 5-year-old saw me on Letterman. Maybe he was a little older at that
Hmm.
point. And I had told a joke that my husband has 2 sons from a previous poker game.
Yes.
And he was really upset
Ah.
because he thought that Ethan's father, his friend's father, might think that was true. And
Oh,
so I had
so
to explain to him that it was a joke. I said, your feelings are the most important thing to me, so I won't do that joke anymore. And he said, you can do it if I'm not there.
oh, so nice.
I know.
So
Meanwhile,
giving.
25 years later, I'm still doing the freaking joke.
You're like, it's a good joke. Really pays off. It's a hard worker in my act, that joke. So, okay. So, but, you know, just reaching back for 1 second, did you make up the character of your brother in your act because you needed this character? Like, I'm just curious about that. Why make up a character?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I
fair
really
enough.
don't. I mean, because I wanted to put the joke on somebody. The joke,
Yes.
my ride's here. The joke,
I mean, I live in Brooklyn.
I
I'm
know.
sorry to all my listeners. It's like sometimes I'm like, I don't even live near a hospital.
That's
It's
where my
insanity.
5-year-old lives, by the way. He's not 5 anymore. He's 29. But
Oh my goodness.
um I guess I wanted to ascribe that he studied philosophy, he didn't know why. And I also told another joke that my brother was the smart one in the family because he was adopted. Somebody left him on the back doorstep when he was a baby, and we didn't find him until he was 20 because we never used that door. Um, so I guess I needed a character.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. This is fine.
yeah.
I love this. So let's take it back because you alluded, just so we have a sense, you have two stepkids. Are those your only kids?
So I couldn't have kids according to my lease, but I it's one of my favorite jokes.
Love it.
But I when I met my husband, he had a 5-year-old mentality, and I'm just doing my act,
It's great.
and 2 kids from a previous poker game. Um, no, he had 2 kids. They were 4 and 8,
Okay.
and they were sons. And when I first met him, I was 38, and I never wanted kids. I think I thought I would have postpartum, or I didn't want to have to be pregnant. I didn't want to have to share my food with anyone.
Yeah.
It just wasn't in my, and I was always on the road. It was like I gave up my kids for a career, sort of.
Absolutely.
And I never had a partner that I wanted to have kids with. So it just wasn't for me. But when I met my husband, I fell in love with him, and then I fell in love with his kids. And the custody was 50-50. So the mom had 50 custody and we had 50. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And then, like a month later, we got 90% custody. And so suddenly I was an almost full time stepmom.
What changed that
Um,
happened?
the mom couldn't, for some reason, have the
Okay.
kids. She was uh, working.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's soon, like a month later.
Wild. So going into it, and now when you fall in love with this person, they have little kids too. Little kids. You're
Right,
coming in the heat of these little kids who are still
right.
discovering what it is to be human almost. Were you like, "Oh my God, this is the opportunity that I didn't have and now I get it. How lucky." Were you worried? Were you like, "I don't even understand my role?"
Well, I definitely felt like it was the first time I believed in God, because I really felt like I was there for them. They needed me, but also they taught me things I needed to learn about myself. I'm still learning them. I say that parenting is like time release job. Like I'm
It
still
really is.
right. So it just felt perfect, even though it wasn't easy. It just felt inevitable, and I'm down for it. So, yeah.
What was, I mean, what was your role in the beginning? Was it very much like Wendy mom, or did they just call you Wendy?
So we tried a few things. I mean,
Okay.
they still had a mom and have a
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
So at one point I wanted them, or we thought about having them call me mom, but they have a mom, so that didn't work. And they tried, or we all tried for a while, to call me smom, stepmom, smom.
I
But
like mom.
right? I love
Yeah, it's kind of
smom.
good. I've never heard it before. I mean,
But
maybe I've just missed it.
no, we made it up.
It's great.
So uh or we think we made it up. But in the end they just call me Wendy,
Okay.
or that woman in the kitchen who doesn't know how to cook. I will never live this down. I once served them salad with a paper towel in it. I was drying the lettuce and I just never took the paper towel out. So,
Of the lettuce. And okay, great. And you say you'll never live it down because this is what comes up. This is the
yes.
chatter at a family
Uh,
event, a Thanksgiving.
yes, but I have been told that I make a mean cereal. And and my one of my stepsons, Brooklyn, is a really good cook, and I think it was in response to the way I did it. My husband can cook, but
Okay.
my stepson became almost a gourmand. Is that
Well, there you go. So maybe
yeah.
you did your job, Wendy.
I guess it's all in like reaction
Yeah, that's fine. I
to
mean, wouldn't you say that we all do that?
I do. I feel like somebody, I think his name is Asher Perlman, has a cartoon about things skipping generations and like you treat your kids the way you wanted to be treated. And so it skips generations. I had that theory early on, the sandwich grandmother theory, that I'm more like my grandmothers than I am like my mother. And maybe things skip gen. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's
No,
early
I
here.
like this.
Oh,
What so
okay.
interesting. I was just going to ask you like about having to like come in with a parenting style which might have been different from their biological mom and might have been different from your husband, their father.
So I took my cues from my sister,
Okay.
who is a couple of years older than I am, and she's a therapist. And she's very like touchy feely, earthy, crunchy,
Okay.
sweet, really sweet. She's the coolest, warmest person I know, my sister. And
She real? Are we sure she's real?
she's real. I'll give you her
I
social
smell a bit.
security
No.
number.
No, it's great.
No, but I don't talk about her in my act because in the same way that I don't really talk about my stepsons, because I don't want. Yeah, I mean, I do say that one of my stepsons is he's he's in tech, like
Yes.
he works at Applebee's. No.
Awesome.
He actually works at Google. So
Uh, Amazing.
I won't really talk about him.
Yeah.
I I make stuff up. But anyway, so I got my cues from my sister more than my mother, I think. And I mean, my mother ran a preschool for
Oh,
25 years. So she's really into early childhood education. And yet I didn't do things the way she did them. So
is that telling? Is that also because maybe you were like, I have a better way to go about this?
just different. Like,
Uh-huh.
um, yeah, just different.
And how were you strict or like what? Give me an idea of, especially when they're little, that's like a whole different ballgame.
So I was given a lot of responsibility,
Okay.
but not a lot of authority.
Oh, that sounds
So
impossible.
it it was they didn't need a lot of authority.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay.
guess I should start by saying that. Like they were very well-behaved children.
Okay.
Um, but like for example, my husband would want us all to drive everybody to school in the morning. So we all had to get up
Oh,
and drive. I'm like, oh, can't you just drive?
yeah. Division of
But
labor.
we all did it. So in a way, I felt like, oh, that's really sweet, and I didn't get that, so maybe that's will be helpful to them.
Was
Um,
that a little bit like we know we're all going to be together at this point in the day, no matter what?
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one day I didn't go, like I had been on the road or something and I just
Yeah.
wanted to sleep in, was the morning of 9/11. So they all came home anyway,
Oh
and I
my goodness.
know it was really weird. Um, but wait, I was saying about, oh, you
Like just
asked me responsibility and
yeah, and if you were
yeah.
strict or if you
So
were
the one thing
the
I
giving
tried
mom.
the one thing I tried to do with he was 4, from when he uh, was 4 years old, I would read to him every night for like an hour. And one time he was sitting in my lap and the book was in front of me, in front of us, and I was reading, and he turned around and he said, "You have a really sweet voice."
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
I know. And and then I realized that he learned to read really early because he just wanted to do it by himself
Yes.
after a certain point. Yeah, enough already, lady. But there was one time I had just gotten back from the road, and my husband and I went to pick up the kids, and we got the little one, and we were at the supermarket, and the checkout lady said, "Wow, somebody really loves his mom." And that just, yeah. Because even though I wasn't his mom, like there was one time I was on the road and I was in a cab in Colorado, and I was telling the cab driver about my life. And he was like, "Don't fool yourself. Those kids always love their mom more than they love you."
Ugh.
And, I think I needed to hear that, even though in my heart, I know their love for me is different than the way that they love their mom.
Sure.
Um, but it's true. It really is true.
But did you feel pressure? Was there a lot of pressure on you? I mean, that you gave yourself to be some sort of, I don't know, extra role model, extra caregiver. You were saying a lot of responsibility, but I wanted to know if that's like, shuttling them around, feeding them, clothing them, or is that emotional?
Um, Both.
Okay.
I remember bathing my little one. I haven't talked about my older one yet. But I was bathing my little one, and I remember teaching him which handle was hot and cold and how to turn them on and off, because they
Yes.
they were funky in this bathtub. It wasn't logical, and I thought, wow, he's going to remind me of this when I'm old. Like, even though we don't live there anymore. But
Yeah.
there was like a moment of, at some point, he's going to be teaching me these things. So, but it is true, like you learn by teaching. So,
For sure. And
right?
I also find that you learn what to teach by teaching. I mean, there's some things that never occurred to me that you would have to teach someone.
Right. And also, um, well, how old are your kids?
I have one kid and he's 8 right now, a boy.
Mm, such a cute age.
I know. It's like right in the he straddles like he's already thinking about how him being cool. Like he's got a little bit of I embarrass him. He wants to be cool. I dropped him off for school this morning. He doesn't want me to go in the yard. He wants me to stop at the gate and let him go by himself. He fluctuates back and forth if I'm allowed to kiss him goodbye or just a high
Right.
five, but he's still little in so many ways.
Now, do they have cell phones at this age?
Absolutely not allowed. And matter of fact, the school gave me a thing to sign saying that I promise he will not come with any device of any kind to school. I mean, he's not, I think once, the general rule of thumb around my neighborhood has been once they're walking to school by themselves, they get something.
Right.
But until then,
Because I'm of two minds on that one.
okay, tell me.
Because I think having a phone to use to call your mother if you need to
Yes.
is helpful. Like, I would have wanted that when I was little because
Yes.
I would have wanted to get in touch with my mother. Like, um, yeah. So I recognize it's not good for them to be chatting with their friends or playing games.
Well, they don't want to use it to chat with their friends, Wendy. They want to play a game on it. That's the problem. They want to buy stuff
I was
and
gonna
play
say
a
they
game
wanna
on
go
it.
on Amazon and
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
DoorDash.
But trust me, it's a little bit of a push and pull because while you're signing this thing that I'm like, good, yeah, all right, it's like a little bit of an anti-screen policy. Yet, my son also told me, he was like, do you remember that video game I used to play, Prodigy, which is a kind of iPad game that is educational because it teaches you math? And I was like, oh yeah. He goes, oh yeah, that's what we're playing in school. And I was like, okay, so you're not supposed to bring screens to school, but they're teaching you math by giving you a video game. I mean, you know what? What am I going to
There's
do?
some cognitive dissonance there going
That's right.
on.
It's like, what is yes? What is no? It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
feel like your kids, because did you say the one that lives in Brooklyn is 29 now?
Yes.
Yeah. So you missed this. You didn't have to deal with the iPhone in the stroller phenomenon.
Right. And yeah, because he was 4 when I met him, and they didn't I don't think were cell phones prevalent? I don't know. I don't even remember how old they were when they got their phones. But I
Right.
do think I remember he was playing games that had like energy levels and
Oh yeah.
all sort, and he transposed that to his real life. Like he used those uh, themes to inform his life. And I think the video games were good for him in terms of the way he thinks. And
This is interesting. Okay.
now he works on AI.
Uh-huh. Come for us.
No, but the good AI.
Like the one that's going to find cures for diseases? That AI?
Maybe that one I'm not allowed to know actually, but I do know he's on the good side.
Okay. Good. So when you
Yeah.
say you're at the checkout counter, and the cashier says, "Oh, that kid really loves his mom," or the little one turns to you and goes, "You have a great voice." Like, were those the moments when you're like, "I'm embracing my role. I'm embracing my role," or I just want to know how the experience evolved. If there was a moment where you're like, no one ever goes, "I got this now," and it's all different moving forward.
What a great question. I feel like it was a role and I had to decide how to play it. And
Mm,
there were many times where it was overwhelming and because I didn't really know where I fit in exactly. Because even though I had the lion's share of mom responsibility, they still had a mom. And
yeah.
so it was complicated. Plus, I don't know how this plays into it too, but I was helping support us. So um, that took a toll too.
Yeah.
um, and I remember watching this show called 6 Feet Under.
Love that show.
And
My favorite series,
in the
truly.
last episode, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything for any of your listeners, but in the last episode, they show everybody later in their life, and I realized this moment, no matter how hard it is just a blip in the whole gestalt of my life with them.
Okay, two things right now. First of all, that episode, I don't think I've cried. at a piece of television more than that final episode of Six
right?
Feet Under. It was beautiful, but I was a mess. It was almost torturous
Part of
because
it
I
was the
cried.
song. It was like a Sia song, and it was just
Oh
it
my
all worked
God.
well. I know.
And I wasn't even a parent. I think if I watched it now as a parent, I would be like more destroyed if that was possible. But the other thing I'd like to point out is, and I don't know if you're just good at internalizing this or if the therapy of your sister has rubbed off on you, but you do come across, Wendy, as someone who has very little angst, and that you were able to have larger perspectives at key moments in your own parenting journey.
Well, I realized nothing was gonna change externally. Like, I didn't want to not be in this situation.
Okay. You
So
weren't going to run away.
right, I wasn't gonna run away, even though there were times that I wanted to.
Okay. Sure.
I'm not gonna lie. Um, so I thought, how can I work within this frame and make it palatable? I guess that's what it, and plus I've been in therapy for 45 years, whatever.
Okay.
So
I
it's
mean,
not my sister, but
sure.
yeah, it's my therapist.
Yeah, I've
But
been in
yeah,
therapy for 20 years, no progress. But anyways.
I wrote a play once about my 7 crazy therapists called What to Wear to Therapy, a play in one session. I mean, my most therapists are out of their minds. But anyway, I do have a good one, and she helped me realize I
True.
didn't want
So
to leave this situation. I just wanted to make it work
you wanted help. Did you so you turned to your sister for some parenting help. It sounds like she has how many kids?
too.
2. Okay. And so you're calling her up, I imagine being like, "What do you do when they don't want to go to school?" I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
Right. Just just watching her, how she interacted with her kids was really more uh I just I didn't study her, but I watched her and I learned
Yeah.
that way. She was very, very sweet to
Good
her
model.
kids. Yes.
Now, because you're coming at it as a smom, I will use that forever. Were there, as the kids get older, were there moments where they went to you with something that maybe they were too afraid or uncomfortable talking directly to their mom and dad because you, even though we're with them all the time, had a little bit of this tiny step back?
Well, I will say that I was very cool about sexuality with
Okay.
them as they got older. And I think they appreciated that. And they were very open with me about their sexuality. So I'm being vague,
That's fine.
but I think they came to me first.
Right.
And so, not they in the pronoun way. I'm just trying to make it so that I don't say which one, but
They in the old-fashioned way,
right,
when it
they
was just
that's way.
vague.
And I'm sure that they wouldn't care either, but just that I think they saw how open I was
Yeah,
and non-judgmental about anything. I mean, I'm sure I'm judgmental about some things, but I made it easy for them to talk to me. And
that's amazing. All right,
yeah.
so it sounds like you are gold stars all round as a parent, and I don't believe that for one goddamn
No,
second, Wendy.
I got very angry. I did. I got angry a lot. And I'm
Sure.
not an angry person, but sometimes they it didn't I didn't I wasn't happy. And
Yeah.
so I don't want to paint myself as this super mom.
Yeah, no, I think happiness is pretty low on the list for, what you're able to, I don't know, even have as a parent. Joy, there's a lot of other words. We use a lot of other words,
Right.
but
So
happy.
it was a confusing time. And so um I wrote a piece recently about being a stepmom, and I did a little research, and a lot of stepmoms are depressed, and some are suicidal. I was never suicidal, but I was confused and frustrated a lot, um, and then I tied it into our Kamala Harris and how she seems to have worked her way into her blended family so beautifully, like
Yes.
even incorporating the ex-wife, using her to do videos for her campaign. And I think if she can like handle that, then I think she could do that for the country.
Well, it's interesting because Kamala Harris is a step mom, a smom.
Mom.
Sh
Mamala.
so a mamala, right? So this relationship has come a little bit more into the national conversation, and of course, that means we have to hear every single person's point of view of what they think that relationship is, and if it's really if she's, I think some people just question, are you a parent at all? I think that's what it comes down to. That's the question.
Wow. Well, I started, I made a logo for Stepmoms for Harris because I think it is like a subset of the population.
Yes,
And we recognize how challenging it can be because we don't really know where we fit in. So we have to define our role and make a case for ourselves, basically. And I think
yes,
she did it with such finesse. For all intents and purposes, I don't know what went on behind closed doors, but
sure.
she seems to have. She made Ella, her stepdaughter, feel seen and listened to and heard, and I think that's beautiful. And then for the stepson, he asked her to officiate his wedding,
Yeah.
which I just think is just beautiful. So
Now,
yeah.
the whole time these kids are little, and I just am pointing on that because it's a specific kind of responsibility, and you are contributing in a way to keeping a roof over everyone's head, but also you have a career that you love as a stand-up comic. Are you going out every night and doing sets after they go to bed?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I was as active then because I wanted to be home reading to them. So I did put that on a little bit of a hold. And then I went out on the road a couple of times a month.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I was away a lot too. And I think that helped keep me grounded and sane. And
Yes, absolutely. And when you're away, who is stepping in?
so my husband's a writer. He
Uh-huh.
wrote on a show called Boy Meets World.
Uh-huh.
And so he would be home writing spec scripts and working on other things. So he was home. And
Okay, now
then
I know why you had to make the big bucks. Wow. No, I'm
no,
just kidding.
but they also when they were little, they had like a babysitter
Sure, sure.
who was he also wrote a series of movies called Au Pair. So I don't know if you're familiar with those, but so they had like somebody watching them when they were little.
Yeah, did you have an au pair? Did you actually have
It
an au
was like
pair?
a nanny.
A nanny.
A
Absolutely.
nanny. Yeah.
Did they think you were funny? Like, or do you remember the time, I know we talked about when they were little, having, sort of the logic aspect of someone doing stand-up comedian. They were confronting that. But what about just being proud? Or maybe they were like, oh God, my
That's really
mom does
interesting.
stand-up.
So I tried to be funny with them. And
And
I liked making them laugh. And so like early on I would ask them how they took their coffee, like and um my older one was in some kind of talent show at school and he did stand up.
No!
So
Oh my
yes,
God!
and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed making people laugh. And then one time when my youngest one, this is like one of those family stories, when my youngest one was like 5 and he was playing soccer and some kid deliberately hit the ball at his head, and it wasn't like a mistake. He like wanted to hurt my stepson, so he was really angry. So on the car ride home, I was trying to be like such a mom and say, well, maybe you want to take your feelings of anger and write a poem about it or write a song about
Yeah.
it. And he goes, or hit him with it. And the car, we just laughed so much. And then he started laughing. And it was the first time he had gotten a laugh. And there's something intoxicating about getting a laugh. It means people are listening
Oh yeah.
and hearing you. And so, yeah, so that's a story that we tell a lot, and hit him with it.
Perfect. Do you
So
remember as a kid your first laugh like that? You do have a pinpoint
I
moment.
do.
Okay.
I do. I even have a picture of the moment.
Oh!
So it was after Thanksgiving dinner. I was probably 8 or 9. And I remember wanting to get a laugh after dinner. And I put on a funny hat. And then I remember pushing down one sock and pulling up the other sock, thinking that the asymmetry was hilarious.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And I remember getting a laugh. I'll send you the picture. It's pretty funny.
So you basically excused yourself from the table, went and put on this getup, and then came out. And did you literally just go like ta-da?
I did. I just wanted to get a response. But then there's another time, I might have even been a little younger, actually, to tell you the truth, where we would put on plays in the basement from the time when we were really little. And our neighbor would put them on with us. And one time we did Rumpelstiltskin, and I was Rumpelstiltskin, and my sister was the princess, of course. And then
Of
our
course. Got
neighbor
it.
was the king or whatever. But then as we got older, we would do improv. And I remember I turned into this little old Jewish Yenta. And I remember touching the girl's face and going, "What do you want, darling?" But oh my God, I just thought of something else. Before all this, and before I even had the idea of getting a laugh, I got a laugh inadvertently. So I got invited to play with my sister and Emily, the girl who played the king, at Emily's house. And I was 3, my sister was 5, and Emily was 6. And we were playing Duck Duck Goose with a couple of kids from the neighborhood, and I couldn't believe they asked me to be part of it. I was so
Oh.
excited. Maybe I was 4. And but I remembered I had to pee. And
Okay.
to this day, I remember thinking, if I pee, my pant leg will hold it in at the bottom.
Oh.
Like, right? So I pee. So I get up, and there's like a puddle under me in the basement. And Emily's mother says, "Did you have an accident?" And I said, "I think your pipes are leaking."
Oh my God. Oh my God. Did they laugh or did they shake their I mean, that is so funny and adorable. And like
So
you're
Emily's
so
mom was like, "You know what? I think they are leaking, but I think you
oh
should go home and change your pants because you
good
sat
for
in them."
her. By the way, that kind of improv at 4 is really does show a next level. And I do believe a lot of great lines are written from a point of shame.
I think that's true, right? Like I just had to get out of that fast.
So I know that you didn't start stand up out of high school or anything like that. You went to school to become a therapist. And
I
then
did. I
at
was going to
one
be a
point,
therapist. And I
if
worked
I
at
understand the story
Harvard
right,
Medical
that
School
you
doing psych
decided
research.
you thought
And
that maybe,
and I realized it was too depressing for me. I didn't want to be around
wow.
people. I didn't want to be around this population. And uh yeah, I mean, I decided I wanted to make 100 people laugh instead of one person cry. I didn't know if it was that I didn't know if it was that obvious at the time, but I remember finding this class, How to Be a Stand-up Comedian, and just when I saw that there was such a thing, it was like I heard bells and angels and whistles, and it just felt right.
And when you're doing this, how does your family respond? Are they like fantastic or are they scared for your financial future?
Well, I had a day job.
Okay.
I actually left working at Mass Mental, and then I started working as an administrative assistant at a college. I worked at Radcliffe for 6 years while doing stand up at night. And so,
Wow.
as long as I was able to support myself and uh, actually, my parents still think I'm a third grade teacher living in Akron. They have no idea.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth, actually, Wendy. When I moved to New York, I was friends with this guy who still am friends, but he lives in Pasadena, I believe, Seth Rosenfeld. And his parents were friends or are friends with your parents.
Really?
Yes.
The
And I was at,
Rosenfelds?
yes. The Rosenfelds. I know it sounds like we're doing a bit. And so I was at a dinner at his parents' place. He invited me, and your parents were there. And I was very
What?
sheepish about saying that I did stand up. I was very sheepish because I don't know, because I was afraid that I don't know, that they wouldn't think I was good. I don't know.
When
Whatever.
was this? When was this?
2002, I'm going to say,
Oh my
maybe
God.
2000, maybe 2002. And they said, well, maybe you're starting out, and I had nothing. And they said, well, maybe we could get you in touch with our daughter, Wendy.
Oh, so you did talk to them.
Oh yeah. And I was afraid. I was like, I've
Oh
seen her,
my
and I think, thank you, but I don't think that's appropriate. I
Oh
think I was
my
gracious
God.
about it, but I was like, oh my God, no, no, no. She'll just think I'm terrible. Just because, yeah, anyways.
Oh
So it
my
is very
God.
funny. I always remember that. And now looking back, I go, why didn't I just say
I can't
yes?
believe that. One time I got somebody tweeted and they copied me on it. And they said, I'm at the airport in my terminal, and Wendy Liebman's mother is telling everyone that her daughter is a comedian.
Okay, so she was
Uh,
proud.
she is proud, my
Yeah,
mother.
yeah.
That is
Did they
such a
go to early
small world.
shows? Yeah, I know.
It's small world, and not only so my husband's father and uncle wrote that song, It's a Small World. And so
Whoa.
10 times a day I say, it's a small world, because it really is. Like the fact that you know the Rosenfelds. So one day the comedian Mike Costa, Michael
Uh-huh, yes.
Costa says, our parents are best friends. Like they had just moved to New York and met my parents randomly. And I know, it's so weird.
It's
New York
amazing.
is so huge. You might
It's
even run
amazing.
into my stepson.
I might. I know, especially in my neighborhood. I'll just yell out, "Who here works at Applebee's?" Uh, down the street. So and I'm just thinking too, because one thing you've obviously had such an amazing career, and it's changed a lot. Just like the playing field has changed over the years. For example, I know that you and many other comedians I know that started at a certain time had the opportunity to open up for huge touring musicians, which is something that doesn't happen anymore. Every once in a
I
while you hear of it,
know.
but not really. And I'm always fascinated by that.
Oh, I
It
lost
seems to
you.
me like it. Oh,
I
am I
lost
here?
you.
Am I back?
Oh, yes, you're
Am I
back.
back?
You're back.
I mean, that always just seems like it would be very fun to open a show for, although hard because you have an audience that's there to see Sheena Easton. I was just thinking, because I know that you mentioned that, or Frankie Valli. And then you're like, hey, like me.
So I was with my first agent was also a music agent, so I got to open for Ray Charles and Anne
Amazing.
Margaret and as you said, Frankie Valli, and even the Smothers Brothers. They're not music, but I had different opportunities then. It was very, very cool. One time I
Amazing.
opened for Julio Iglesias, but a lot of his audience didn't speak English. So I should have been a juggler. But
That's an uphill climb.
yeah, so like I had all of those experiences early on, and now I think I would do great at them, but I think I was like pushed into the water a little too soon on those. But I
Yeah, although
still appreciate all of those opportunities.
I mean, maybe now, right now you would conquer them, but maybe now too, you would be like, I'm not putting up with this.
No, it was pretty cool.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So when you go on stage opening for, I don't know, a Frankie Valli, like I'm just thinking, did you feel even, you're younger too and you don't know, but did you feel like I have to win these people over within a minute or I'm sunk?
I did so much blindly
Yeah, it's the
that
best.
um yeah, I wasn't as conscious as I am now. So I guess it worked to my advantage that I didn't realize how hard it was.
I
Right?
mean, I call this what I have too, or had. I call it being a brave idiot.
Oh, I like that.
Like you go out with all the guns, firing, but you have no idea what you're up against.
But in that sense, that's part of, as you said earlier when you introduced me, is being born to do it. So at the beginning, excuse me, at the beginning of my career, it was bad. Like, but I knew that I was a comedian. So just kept doing it.
Just kept doing it.
So
I know that's the key.
what is it? Blindly
I
idiotic?
say I call it being a blind idiot. Yeah. Um. So so I know you were saying one of your sons works in tech. Did either of them, other than that dabbling in a stand-up talent act, want to go into the biz on any level on comedy?
So my older stepson is a singer-songwriter,
Oh,
and he is amazing, um, magical. And so I'm sorry, I'm like
uh,
losing my voice suddenly. Hold on.
that's okay. Do we have to
Um,
do? We're almost done, so you could lose it for this last question.
okay. So I love that he is a performer. And I really like, there's sometimes that I ask myself, like, why wasn't I just a really funny kindergarten teacher?
Yes,
Or
so
why
much
wasn't
easier.
I the funniest ad executive? What is it about me that made me be the person that has to be on stage? Um, and I think some people are just born to perform. And my
Yeah,
stepson is one of those.
and you're born to perform. I mean, you're a great writer, but I've heard you say that live is your milieu.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. I would
Yeah,
rather perform live than be taped for something, actually, because there's just something magical that happens in the moment,
Yeah.
that you can't. It's like watching sports. It's like you just are there without a net. You never know what might happen.
And
So,
that's what we love. That's what we love. So, just closing up, because one of the things that I thought was very interesting that you said in another interview is that there's so much in the whole time I've done stand up, there's been so much chatter about being a woman in this business. And I would say when I started, I wasn't completely aware that I was a woman in this business. I was just a comic and I was one of a bunch of comics. And I didn't think about it very much. I didn't think about getting certain spots because I was a woman or not getting certain things because I was a woman. And then I would say personally, in the last 10, 15 years, it has been thrown upon me excessively that I am a woman. And I don't know if you see the industry has changed in that sense, or if you have a different perspective. I wanted to throw it by you.
what did I say in the other interview?
You just said that you've said before that when people are like, what was it like as a woman in stand-up? Standard question, right? That you said that I never saw myself as a woman. I only saw myself as a comedian. And I'm now just summarizing your words, that you never go on stage going, hey, I'm a woman, because you're not, that's not how you want to communicate to an audience. You want to communicate, this is
Right.
my life. I'm a stand-up. Here we go.
Right. I mean, I think it's changed over the years in that there are so many female comedians. It's not even funny. No. um, I love that there are so many comedians and a lot of, what am I thinking? Um, it has worked to my advantage in some ways.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's worked to my disadvantage in other ways, but I'm a blind idiot.
Yeah, it probably serves, it's better too on some level.
Yeah, like I think if I were a male comedian, and maybe I would be further along, whatever that means. But I'm reading this book now called The Creative Act by
Uh-huh.
Rick Rubin. And basically, we're all just right on track. That's my takeaway from the book, is that we're on track. Uh, Whatever cosmic thing you believe in, that I'm just right where I'm supposed to be right now. That's what I'm going
I
to
love
say.
that. Like I said, Wendy, you really strike me as someone in a refreshing way that is you're funny, you're thoughtful, and you do not come across as someone that is filled with angst. You do not come across, whether it's true or not. I just want to give you a gold star on that.
Well, I mean, I have to say, same with you. So
I appreciate
I
that. Oh,
appreciate
good.
you.
We're both hiding it well. We're fine, everybody. We're fine.
You're fine.
Uh, Thank you so, so much. Thank you.
Thank
Listeners, if
you.
you have not been able to see Wendy live, I first say do that. Second, you can ingest her hilarious work by simply going on your computer. You can watch all kinds of sets, but also there's a whole special waiting for you called It's Wendy. So
Okay.
make sure you watch that. Thank you so much.
You're the best. Thank you for having me. I so appreciate you. And I wish you had reached out to me when you met my parents in 2002.
Well, it's never too late. It's never
Okay.
too late. So
All
there you
right.
go.
I'm
Please
gonna
help
go
me.
call my mom now and tell her.
Okay.